I think the neighborhood safety community exists to be a bridge from community to city government. The Neighborhood Safety Committee really does a great job in being a voice in ways in which we haven't really heard before from community.
Personally, I think it's important that we have a Neighborhood Safety Community Council because it's an opportunity for the city to work cooperatively with the residents that the city serves.
I think it's just great to work with people who are really dedicated to their communities, to have people from all the neighborhoods of St. Paul here talking about their priorities and thinking about how we need to plan and work together as a larger community. What we want to do, one, is think about how we communicate about those programs to our communities, and then we also want to hear from those communities back about how those programs are working to change their lives and lower violence in St. Paul.
If you're thinking about joining the nscc, I would say we really want people that are truly interested in the overall safety of their community. We want voices from every part of the city. We don't want to just hear from some, we want to hear from all. We want to make sure that we're thinking about all types of demographics as well. We don't want anyone left out. We all have something to say, and I want to make sure that your voice is here at NSCC. So if you're thinking about it, if there's any level of interest, I would say please apply. I think that your voice could really do a lot to improve the overall safety here in the city.